morning, Justin.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I am very well, thank you.
But not dandy?
No, dandy wouldn't necessarily be one of those words that I might necessarily use, but I am very well.
What do you think dandy means?
I would say dandy, I'd put it up there with okie dokie. But because it's a little better than okay.
It's kind of like a colloquialism.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It would be in the category of good.
Yeah.
Maybe a little better than good, but not very good.
I mean, I think I've only ever heard it in fine and dandy.
I hear you.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to start a new trend where you just say dandy.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Go for it.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
It's a Justinism. Dandy.
Feel free to use it, folks. Hashtag Justinism.
So, guess what today is, Mark?
Today is Wednesday. We always record on Wednesday.
Good. This happens to be recording number
52.
That's right, 52.
Yes. Welcome to How I See It with me, Mark Pratt, and
Justin Sternberg. This is a podcast that works to counter cultural polarization through thoughtful conversations. So, if you listen to this one and you want to listen to one every week for a year, you can.
Right. That's right. That's right. Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, congratulations, Justin.
Congratulations to you, Mark.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun.
It has. And it's been cool because, we kind of tried to do a little reflection on some of the ones we've done and just looking at the list of episodes. Sure. It's kind of formidable.
Yeah.
When you look at 52 names.
Yep. And I noticed that that whole aspect of what you remember, the things first on the list and the things last on the list, but you really start looking at the whole list. And I was, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that one, or, oh yeah, I remember that one. And it was just kind of a fun thing to look back through and kind of brush up and yeah. Yeah.
And a little bit later, we're going to chat a little bit about some of our favorites or some of the things we learned about some of them. But before that.
Yes, before that.
I got something for you, Mark.
You do? What you got?
And the audience at home can play along. We're going to do some How I See It trivia.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I'm good with it.
So if you're playing along at home, you can just hit that pause button.
There you go.
And, think about it.
Yeah, because you might
or just try and beat Mark. It can be a dual game, like trivia / beat Mark to the answer.
If it has to do with technology, most of our listeners will probably beat me, and that's okay.
They don't really have technology, so.
All right,
you ready for this?
I think.
I feel like we need a theme song.
I think we need a drum roll.
Drum roll. Oh.
I think we have one. That. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh, that's not a drum roll. That's a rim shot. Where we tell jokes.
But either way.
All right, that was a good joke.
There you go.
Moving on. All right, so number one in our trivia game show here.
Yes.
What would you guess would be the day and the number of the most plays in a day?
The most plays.
And bonus points for episodes listened.
Oh, okay. We're going to have to break this down. Most played in a day.
Yep. Most plays in a day.
Most plays in a day.
Number and date.
Man, here's my guess. I would say it was the release with Jason Disbro as the judge. He has a big following.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my guess. You want the date?
Sure. Yep. Number and date.
Oh, the number?
You just got the bonus points if you got it right.
If
That's
I got
all you
it
get.
Right.
So.
Oh my goodness. Well, normally we're like around 40, give or take.
All right.
So I'm gonna say there was 110.
Okay. And what was the date?
And what was the date? Oh my goodness. This is gonna be way off. I'm gonna say what we into. I'm gonna say it was June. I don't even remember what Wednesday was in June, but the 14th. 14th, yeah.
Of which year?
Of last year, 2022. Right. How close was I?
You were wrong, and wrong.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Something happened on October 25th of 2022.
Oh, that was a good day too.
That was a good day. In fact, our best, Mark.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the episode?
There were 3 that were listened to on that day.
Really?
Yes. The order was Conflict Part 2.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it was probably the day of release of Conflict Part 2. I didn't verify that. That was a Wednesday, but that would be my guess.
Okay.
The next one listened to was Early Education Part 1.
Okay.
And Gratitude.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was the most listeners in one day.
In one day. Yeah. Most plays.
Most plays in one day. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
that
cool.
was the day everyone caught up, I think.
I hear you. Yeah. October was the first part of October had something to where that didn't have to do with like a week where we missed or anything, did it? See, this is trivia coming back at you.
There is 1 week, which I should have put a stat in here, that I failed to get it published, so we skipped a week. So our 52 is actually a year and 1 week.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But that's okay. I was just thinking whether that was a catch up.
It might. I mean, the week that I missed was between September 27th and
it's all good.
This is riveting. October 10th. So that first week of October. Ooh. So yeah, I mean, it could have been knock-on effects.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. So yeah, we did miss an episode. That could have been a trivia question.
That's the one I was gonna give you a trivia. No, I'm just kidding. I'll think of my trivia as we go.
Okay, do it.
Yeah.
We won't have answers, but that's good.
Well, I'm sure you can look it up.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Fire away.
I hope you do better.
Me too.
I think you shall, because this is the number you already talking about.
Okay.
What is our all-time plays count?
3.7K.
Nice.
If you look on the, yes.
3,703.
Exact. Oh, and 3.
And 3.
Oh, wow.
Did give me that number. So, well done. Well done, Mark.
You too.
People are listening to you.
You too.
At least 3.7K times.
Exactly. And don't forget the 3 now. Now I have to go to 3,703. Yeah. Don't forget the 3.
Yeah, but you can't say K anymore.
That's true. That's okay.
All right. Next.
Fire away.
All right. Average plays per episode.
Average plays per episode. Like I said.
This is the one time, like I said, is very applicable.
I'm debating between numbers 40 and 44.
Well, you got to pick one. So.
Yep. And so I'm going to go with 40.
Nailed it. 40.
Cool.
Like I said. Like you said.
Like I said. It's No. Yeah.
All right. You're nailing it now. I mean, you didn't do so good on that first one, but admittedly that was a little off the wall.
That was good. That was a good trivia question.
It was, exactly. Yes. You got to have some that stump you. All right.
Exactly.
Next question. You ready?
Yeah.
Audience size in the last 7 days.
Audience size in the last 7 days. Man, I'll be honest, I haven't tracked this lately. I mean, in a long time. Mm-hmm. One more time. Audience size.
In the last 7 days.
So that's not the number of listeners.
I think it is. I think it's the number of plays represented by a unique.
Okay. Sure. Number of plays in the last 7 days.
Not number of plays, because it's unique, right? So if one account listened twice,
okay,
it wouldn't count towards audience size. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I was trying. Of course, it makes sense. I was just trying to figure. No, I just
like I say.
I'm gonna go last 7 days. 38.
You are wrong.
That's okay.
Would you like to guess again?
I need to be higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with 54.
Wrong again. Would you like to guess again?
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Last 7 days, 110.
But you're wrong. Would you like to try again?
But I need to go lower.
You definitely need to go lower.
Okay. 63.
Oh, so close. You need to go lower.
62.
Lower.
60.
Yes.
Oh,
no.
wow.
He skipped over 61.
61. Okay.
61.
61.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about it from, like I just hadn't looked at the analytics to know. Yeah. That's cool.
That was a cool number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you know this one without looking? Maybe you do know it. What is our most played episode, and how many times has it been listened to or played?
Yeah, I don't don't have that one. I'm gonna guess the Jason Dispro episode 1, like you said.
I believe you would be wrong.
Okay, all right.
I believe it is honestly still our introduction
All right.
that has the most plays,
Yes.
like 159 maybe.
All right, let's look it up.
And I think Jason Disprose is even actually further behind just because it was released later.
Yeah.
But I think he's like 120, maybe something like that.
I forgot that we have that curve that from the earliest episodes get listened to the most, and it slowly dips over time to where it normalizes. Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
So yes, I think our intro has actually had the most. Yeah, has been listened to the most times.
I'm trying to remember how we got to that data. Oh, there we go. Episode rankings. You hear those birds?
I do not.
It's almost,
You don't want to know what I hear.
What? I mean, it depends on if it's something I'm doing.
No, you're not doing anything.
All right, I got the chart, and it is as described. What was your number?
Well, I said 159 for our intro.
You nailed it.
And then
That
120.
is the most listened to.
Okay.
At 159. Well done, Mark.
Hey.
And this, you said, man, you are.
Numbers I can do sometimes.
That's impressive. Yeah. Judge Jason Dispro, number 1 is 120 listens.
Okay.
There's one in between it. What is it?
Ooh.
But, I mean, that's the third most listened to.
Okay. So then I would go with episode number 2.
Which was?
Oh, good one. It
was a
wasn't
good
Integrity.
It wasn't?
I don't think so.
Well, that's the one that...
Is that Integrity?
That's the one that's the second most.
Okay. I'm not sure that was our second episode, but it could have been.
No, I'm curious. Let me see.
It could have been.
It is our second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice job. I was thinking about Holy Spirit too.
Yeah, I think that was third.
Okay.
The wives were in there. The wives beat out Holy Spirit.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so it kind of goes down in number, just, pretty much age is the defining characteristic.
Yeah. But that being said, I do just want to take a moment, honestly, to thank all those people who have listened to us.
Yes.
It's just kind of funny.
3.7K of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting where they lived. I know, we followed, John was in, Jordan for a while. So, those stats kind of kicked up, and you have these foreign listenerships and we have family around. And so, it shows where people listen from. And so that's kind of a neat little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, you're
just
good.
wanted to thank those. And definitely thank you too. I mean, like you say, from a technological standpoint, technological.
I got more trivia.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I'm just,
I appreciate your appreciation, but I just
affirming. So what next?
You ready for our next question?
Oh, as ready as I'm going to be.
All right. What is the total number of guests we've had?
Ooh, total number of guests. Okay. That includes wives? You're counting
yes.
them as guests. Okay. Okay. Mary. 3. I'm at 5. I'm going to say 6, 7. I'm going to go, I think I'm solid at right around 7.
All right. You are very close.
Am I one low?
You're one low.
Yeah, I was trying to think I was thinking there could be one more.
There is another question about who the guests are. So
okay, so you can't necessarily answer. We won't necessarily talk about that. Yeah, but I was one low. Yeah. Okay, I'm still trying to think.
Well, let's do that next.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, actually, before we get to who, one other question.
Sure, fire away.
How many episodes include a guest?
Oh, now are you counting the doubles?
Episode, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So Wives was 2.
Okay.
Troy was 2. Jason was 2. I want to say Mary Beth and Mary Ellen both were 2. I didn't add up my 2s as I was going. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Consider I'm going to go with 12. Wait. I missed one. It was education 2 parts. Maybe I shouldn't have stopped so quick. I'm going to go with 14.
14 is correct.
Oh,
well done.
Good thing I stopped.
Which means you probably could get the guests right, the number right. But instead of going back to that one, tell me who the guests were.
Okay. I'm going to say Mary Beth was our first, I believe. I think she was prior to Wives even. So you want people?
Yes.
Okay. So Mary Beth, then there was Megan and Chris. And then I think we had Kelly. I didn't count Chris twice on that one, but did
Correct.
you?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then we would have had Mary Ellen, Jason, Troy. I think there's one that I'm missing. Is that 7? Yeah. So, and it was 8. There's one that I'm missing.
How'd you get the episodes right, but not?
Because I threw a couple in extra for the person that I can't think of right now. But most of them ended up being doubles.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to dock you for cheating.
Why is that?
Just kidding.
I'm just calculating, factoring my error. Yeah, I can't think of. I'm gonna. Oh, you know who it was? It was Elias.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have. He wasn't in studio.
Yes. That's what made it.
Yeah.
Your memory.
That's exactly right.
So he made 8.
Yes, he would have been 8, and then he was 2. That was the extra 2 that I threw in.
That's right.
So yeah, okay.
Nice job, Mark.
Whew.
Well done.
Wow, that was.
You can wipe the sweat off your brow.
Well, you know what? You know what I was thinking all the while. I was thinking, it's like we've just had another guest here in our audience, and I couldn't even remember who they were.
They're going to be very offended.
Like you say, that's what was going through my mind. It's like, yeah, because I thought I remembered everybody that came in studio.
Yep.
But yeah,
that was a unique situation.
Yeah, it definitely was. And a nice job. Nice job on making that happen too. Just reaching out. Yeah, that was kind of a cool opportunity.
Yeah, I might see if he'll come back on at some point.
Sure.
We can chat about some polarizing
he's
church topics.
He's an intelligent fellow. No doubt about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. You kind of compensated for the error. So you got, I don't know what number you got right so far, but
I think I'm only 1 or 2 wrong.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Oh, I'm more than 1 wrong, but yeah, a couple.
All right. Podcast services percentages.
Podcast services percentages.
If you want, I'll give you the list, and then you can just tell me what you think the percentage
Oh, I see what you're saying. You mean like Spotify and how many? I would say most of the.
Guess the number or the services first.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're gonna. Whose iPhone? Apple Play.
Yes, that's
Apple
right.
Play.
Apple Podcasts.
Spotify. Do we do it through? Oh shucks, that's Snapchat.
No.
Does that not count as one?
No, that's
okay.
not one.
Snap. Snap. That's
Nope,
not
that's
one.
not one either.
Okay. Do we do it through Facebook? We have a Facebook. Can people listen
we
to?
used to, but
Oh.
Facebook stopped serving podcasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
About, I believe that was September 21st.
Exactly. Nice.
No. Okay. So you can tell which directions I listen to. And you can listen to the link itself. You can listen to the website itself. That
Nailed
counts.
it. Yep.
Okay.
Web browser. it's
Web
called.
browser.
Yep.
Okay. And well, there's a couple that you're probably not aware of. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that would be where I'm at.
There's an other category, so that would
I'm
account
sure.
for the ones I'm not aware.
Okay. So yes, the other category.
The only one you're missing of the 5 that I have listed here is Anchor, which is our actual
sure.
host.
Yeah.
So
I should have.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to guess percentages?
Oh yeah. I dare
Now
say.
they can only add up to 100 mark. So.
Understood. I would say the majority, are going to be Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
Okay. At what number?
Oh, I'll go 75%.
Pretty close. That's pretty good.
Okay.
72.3.
I'd still count
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
we'll
that's
go
pretty
75.
close.
Yeah, that's
pretty
great.
close.
Nice job.
And so then I'm going to say Spotify would be next.
Okay.
And I'd still give that maybe still 20
Okay.
out of am I way high
You're pretty high. Yeah.
for what's left?
Yeah.
For Okay. So it's divided up. I'm going to say Anchor is probably the least.
Okay.
Despite others the least at 2%.
No, Anchor's the least at 2%.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay. So
you were right about your first intuition.
Anchor's 2. Okay. So that I got to get I need to
Other
adjust.
accounts for all the other ones, so it makes sense to me it would be higher than
Oh, I see what
the
you're saying.
lowest, maybe, because it would combine, right?
Right. Okay. Other is going to be 5%.
14.7.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of others.
Yeah, there's a lot of others.
And then 14.7, give or take 16. So 91. So around 9% is going to be Spotify.
5.9%.
Okay.
Close.
Okay.
You had 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 72.3 is Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Other is 14.7. Spotify is 5.9. Web browser 4.5%, and Anchor is 2.5%.
Okay.
They're not pulling their weight over there. At
Wow,
Anchor, so.
I tell you. Yeah. They're great. We do enjoy their stuff to be able to use though.
Yeah, it's a good service.
It is
yeah.
a good service.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I mean, it
and also
seems
we do a pretty. I put a lot of effort into pointing everyone to our website.
Okay.
It's all the
sure.
links and everything go to howiseeit.click, and so it makes sense to me that probably a lot of people would use Anchor as their website where you'd send
Sure.
people to. But
Sure.
yeah, nice job.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, thank
I got
you.
one more trivia.
Ooh, one more trivia.
Mark, this one you should do well at.
We'll see. How many Markisms are there?
Name the most Markisms you can.
Man.
And, if you get more than I have here, then I have more to put on this list.
How many do you have?
6.
Okay. Oh, man.
I collected them. All right, so preface.
I'm good at Markisms.
This might help you. You are good at Mark.
But I'm unaware of them. I'm unaware of most of them.
So, when it was your birthday in
Yeah,
December.
I'm thinking of a couple from there.
Yeah,
Gotcha was one that was mentioned.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah. I know.
Wait,
Well,
let me share the story.
Okay.
Now.
Oh, sorry.
So I
My bad.
posted on Instagram a picture of Mark and said, it's Mark's birthday, so let's celebrate with a few Markisms, something like that.
Sure.
And so we had several people comment, and it was very funny.
It was
great. Yeah,
Yes.
it was great
and,
to see.
and not necessarily a Markism or so. I thought one of them was, "What do you think, Mrs. P?"
That's definitely a Markism.
There you go.
What do you think, Mrs. P? For the audience, Mrs. P is Mrs. Pratt, his
Yes.
lovely wife, Chris.
Yes.
Yep.
And so,
So
for
you
who I am
you got
thankful.
one.
For who I am thankful.
Yes, for who you are.
So yeah.
Me too.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Like I say,
Like I say,
Yeah, see, I'm unaware. No, I am actually working at trying to be more aware. I know initially there was one that I said routinely at the very beginning, probably still do. Oh, it wasn't. Go ahead. I didn't want.
I hear you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Yes, yes. I can remember hearing about that one for a while.
I hear you.
Yeah, because I think that was
I hear you.
Which one of those episodes was it where we talked about not necessarily agreement, and now people say, "Oh, yeah." So now people, whenever I say that, it's like, "Oh, you don't agree with me." It's like, well, come on now.
Yeah, a little backstory to what I hear you kind of means when you say it, but it's taken a little too far.
Yes.
No, I hear you, Mark.
Yep.
I hear you.
Yep.
And I agree.
It can catch it in different tones. That's for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes you say "I hear you" as in a confirmation of "Oh, I get it."
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Which is the opposite of the other version, which is I'm listening, but I don't necessarily know if I agree with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's kind of your way of providing room for
yes.
For more conversation.
Yeah. Pulling a thread type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Was
no
that
concerns?
No concerns.
You betcha.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. You betcha.
I didn't have this one, but I'm adding it now. Thankful for the opportunity.
There you go. Fair enough. I am thankful for the opportunity.
We are.
Yes, indeed.
That's a good one to end on, because that's exactly how we feel about this endeavor.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
We are thankful for the opportunity.
Yes. And so thankful for so many people who kind of took the opportunity. Maybe not necessarily through the site, but just in individual conversations to kind of share, what episodes they thought, they enjoyed or were one of their favorites. And so that's been neat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some nice feedback. There's only one written one.
Yep.
So I didn't.
True.
I'm not going to single that one out, but we'll just say that we've had some nice feedback.
Yeah.
From people in conversations in the last couple of weeks and before that too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Some of people's favorites. You remember any?
Some of people's favorites.
Sure.
Yeah. We were talking. John had mentioned winning the morning.
Okay, yeah.
Graham had mentioned
that sounds like recency bias to me.
Well, but Graham had mentioned parenting.
Yes.
And so yeah, and then
and then he went on to name all of them. So
yeah, but then the educational one was another one he specifically.
Graham deserves a shout out.
There you go.
He might be our number one fan.
I hear you. Keep me close. He could be close.
He could be close.
Yeah, outside of family.
That's right.
Yeah,
right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and I
don't know about yours, but mine listens a little obligatorily. So
I hear you.
I don't know if fan is the right word.
Well, I think it's neat because I'm
kidding, Megan.
I have to give credit where credit is due. I think a lot of my topics actually come from within my family, as far as conversations we're having and that kind of thing and following up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I know Lizzie's called you out on your definitions once or twice.
That's right. That's good. She's like she thinks she's a college student learning all kinds of stuff or something.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember that one word I argued with her about, and then I was
catalyst.
Wrong.
Catalyst. Yeah.
We should probably clarify to the audience what catalyst is, which I would do, but I can't remember. It's whatever Lizzie said it was.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, it was to the aspect. It sped up the process, but it didn't change it. It didn't. It was something. Yeah.
My understanding of catalyst was that, A plus B equals, D or whatever. Like it required the catalyst in order to transform. And she rightly clarified that a catalyst simply accelerates the process that's in place. I guess something like that.
Exactly.
Which, it's not quite as fun
to
say.
It's always, yeah.
It tells me I've certainly used catalyst the wrong way too many times in my life. That's okay.
And I was thinking,
Lizzie was the catalyst to my mental growth.
There you go. And I was thinking, too, I was about, conversations we've had with individuals, at the very beginning. Because some of those, conversations at the very beginning as far as, discussing agreement or disagreement. That was kind of fun too.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Like which, do you have an example?
Well, person wise or
conversation wise?
Yeah, I was, Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You mean outside of the pod? I thought you were talking about guests.
Who would continue, not continually, but, routinely interact and have discussions with us, at CR over, the topic of the week. And that was fun,
That was,
to be able to have that discussion and just be able to really, it was a continuation of what we desire to do here.
Yeah.
Because each time it was like, I'm not sure about that, but I thought this was good, or, something along that line. And so, and, just different people. And, Jimmy's another one, that basically, has shared some transformation, and I'm not saying I want, leave anybody out on that message, but, there's a lot of people, including our wives, who have kind of offered some insights along the way that have just been really fun and, a good opportunity to say, okay,
Yep. I know Tony, he's mentioned a few episodes and
sure.
That's cool. And
yeah,
Leanne is the one who actually wrote in a nice little thing. So
sure,
she definitely deserves a shout out. And
yeah. So
I'm sure we're leaving. Someone's going to be hurt because.
Well, and I apologize for that in advance.
You're our number 2 fan, but we just forgot about you. We're sorry.
But so it's been fun to have that interaction with people and the continued conversations and the affirmations along the way and the challenges, and that's been fun.
Yes, I'm writing something down.
That's all right.
Talking.
Does that conclude the the trivia?
Yes.
Are we done? Okay, so we're officially
trivia
done.
is complete.
My heart rate can go back down.
You said you were gonna make some up, so I'm all in. I mean, you did ask about the episode, the most listened to episode.
Yeah, I did.
That was nice.
Yeah,
and you had those numbers. I was very impressed by that.
I like to say.
You got any others up your sleeve?
Nah, nothing nothing else much up on my sleeve. Yeah, yeah. But I do. As I'm thinking about the topics and so forth, for you personally, what do you think was the episode that you tend to reflect back on? For you more because of the conversation? It was just kind of one of those things that you kind of find yourself kind of popping up in your mind based on life.
Good question. I would say there's several that do that kind of come up regularly in my mind.
There's a right answer. There's only one. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the two that I have a few written here that I was kind of just in terms of ones that stood out to me for various reasons. So
sure.
Of that list that I have there, the two that I would say would be integrity.
Okay.
Is probably the number one. That would be the number one answer. Just that concept of integrity. And then the second one would be Chesterton's fence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I those were my top two, but I had them flip-flopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come back to answer this question?
To answer that question.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I would say Chesterton's fence in our culture
that tends to proves we can't really do polarizing discussion. Our minds are the same.
No, but in our culture,
yeah.
I see Chesterton's fence all around. We're just changing at times.
Rip them up.
We're just changing for the sake of change,
and
we're not necessarily considering the long term. And yet, and I think that's where integrity comes into play, because it's like, okay, things may be changing. People may be doing things different for the sake of doing things different. But for me, it's about doing what
the right thing is.
Well, for me, it's about, integrity.
Yeah.
And I like how you defined it early on in that context of wholeness. To be integral is to be whole. One, is an integer. So like you say, it was just, that was a part of it, to be able to be whole-minded as a, believer, and, as we typically do in the morning, as we try to do, praying before the podcast, just really inviting, all aspects of who we are into the podcast, from even our emotional, our family ties, our spiritual ties, and being integral.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my explanation for the 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Justin and Spence, I would say the same thing. Just like, yeah, I think, right, what you just said. There's a lot of things around that kind of just draw me back to that concept and make me think about that and go, okay, man, but in terms of the integrity one, the other aspect of it that we discussed was this idea of this kind of bubble person that you have up in the air of who you want to be.
Sure.
And how it can differ from the real person you are. And so that concept comes into my mind a lot, just in terms of, if I want to be this person that I say I want to be, well, then I've got to put action to what I'm thinking. I got to put action to it. So, if I want to be a good husband, then I got to, like, for instance, a little thing is I want to write her a note today. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
So it comes to mind a lot where, like, I have these ideas of what I am as a good husband or father or whatever.
Sure.
And recognizing that they don't always align. So trying to cover that ground, shorten the distance between that person in my head and who I really am.
Sure.
Has been good.
Yeah. Yeah. That awareness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still not there because the person I want to be in my head is perfect. And
I hear you.
I understand that's not, going to happen. But so that's a good concept that keeps coming to mind about covering the ground between the two and not just being a person of intent.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, I intend to be a good husband. I intend to be a good father, but not actually putting the groundwork in to,
Yeah.
But it's tough.
It is.
But that's what integrity requires, I guess.
Indeed. No. The other one that comes to mind for me, like you say, if it would be a third, were our health episodes, I'll say.
Okay. Yeah.
With Mary Beth and Mary Ellen, that kind of, because I just routinely run into people who are experiencing, abnormal type health dynamics, and so, now after those episodes, it's like, okay, what does the diet look like? And so that's
what offenses are you putting in your body?
Yeah.
That's
so those kind of come back to my mind, when I'm interacting with people, with health conditions and
I definitely think about the offenses idea quite a bit in terms of, do I want to eat that brownie and add an offense? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like whatever, or whatever it is. And it's helpful to kind of, how you count calories, right?
Sure.
It's more of a wholesome concept of that, where it's not just counting calories, but kind of counting the number of things that you're offending your body with, and like, do I really want to add another one? Whether you know what I mean.
And I think about it too. I'll typically run into people, who are dealing with autoimmune type stuff.
Yeah.
As far as, different, fatigue syndromes, that kind of thing. And it's just that those kind of podcasts typically come to mind, when we were.
Yeah. I think we're due in year 2 for another wives episode, because that was definitely a favorite.
No doubt.
And not just our favorite, but we definitely have heard from a lot of people that it was a favorite of theirs.
No doubt. No doubt.
And I'm not surprised.
No.
If they had a podcast, their listener count would be much higher than ours. So
they would be our favorites there too.
Right.
Yeah. Is that your favorite episode for you personally? Be honest now. I heard that. Oh,
I don't know that I can say a favorite, but that one, I think that was my favorite just because it was fun to kind of laugh with our wives and recount some things.
Yeah.
So
and I think in some ways we got to know each other as couples in a way we hadn't before.
True. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was definitely a fun episode.
Was that your favorite?
Yeah, that would be my favorite. Yeah. Yep.
Favorite is hard because it depends on what you mean by favorite in terms of what, but I do think overall just
just as far as an enjoyable podcast recording and just in the we've had a number of great interviews, that kind of thing, but
I would say all the interviews were pretty enjoyable to me.
Oh, definitely.
Just because
definitely.
I mean, I think you and I both agree we enjoy this and we enjoy our conversations, but we add in a third perspective of someone we respect and enjoy talking with. I mean, it's just really enjoyable.
Yep.
And getting that some perspective. I mean, everyone we brought in was specifically to talk about something that they, has some, knowledge or expertise in. And it was just cool to hear people talking about what they know a lot about it and what,
passions.
Yeah.
And talents. Yeah. No doubt.
So I would say, I don't know. I don't even know if I could rank them like in terms of favorite guest episodes.
No,
nor should I on the air. But they do feel like they're all kind of in the same vein, just because the opportunity felt similar, and like, this is fun to talk to this person about this thing that they're clearly passionate about.
No doubt.
Yeah. The Elias Dummer one was cool because it was, quote unquote, a celebrity, someone we reached out to and was able to do it. So that was fun for me to just say, like, hey, so that kind of communication, reaching out, that can produce a conversation like that. But it ended up being bittersweet because the recording ended up being so echoey and messed up, and kind of a learning curve situation for me. So that one, it's kind of like torn in my brain about. It was really cool leading up to it, and then kind of bummer after, like, just going, well, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because you did a lot of work on that just to get it.
Even paid someone to edit it and make it, clean it up. Like,
oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
He did or you did?
No, I paid someone to clean it up. And then after I got it back, I still spent many hours on it.
Wow.
So, yeah, that one was, but I'm thankful for
Great
it.
idea. Yes, great idea.
And we're much more properly set up at this point to do that same thing. So
I'm looking forward to having another guest.
Yeah,
be able to.
Like a video chat type guest. Yeah,
or no, set up a different mic just to.
The way we got. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yep.
Another favorite, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe my second favorite.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
It was the humor / levity one.
Ah, yes.
Just because we kind of it took the opportunity to introduce some humor.
Sure.
And I think we probably could and should. I mean, going back to that episode, the whole point was introducing that into our lives can help relieve
no doubt
pressure, whatever,
no doubt,
lubricate that, etc. And so, I think we could definitely do that more and better, even in our episodes. Probably, maybe, but I enjoyed that episode because we specifically, brought in some dad jokes and talked about the idea of conversation. I think there was that one where we were talking about swimming, like you can stay underwater for a long time, right, and hold your breath and stay down there, and that's what makes you a good counselor.
Okay.
And it's this idea of serious, deep conversation, right?
Yes.
Where some of us need to bob up now and then, or some of us can't even get below the surface, which is all jokes. No, what I mean?
No, I hear you.
That might have been a different episode.
It might have been a different one, but that's all right too. But I'll say another favorite, and I appreciate your transparency, and it was depression as well. And just being able to talk personally and candidly about what that, because initially when you said river, you alluded to river and depression. It's like, your ability to, people want to say, just don't go in the river, but you hear it, you know that the river is typically around you. And, and so, that was, I've, had different people reach out and say, this was a really helpful episode. So just wanted to say that was, one of my favorites as far as the ability to, offer hope. So yep.
Yeah. I also appreciated several episodes where we were able to kind of tap into the vein that is Mark's knowledge in terms of counseling or the things that we've learned. I know the one where we talked about the various learning styles, attachment theories.
Love styles.
Yeah. But you talk about attachment theory too, right? Yeah.
Yep. Love styles come out of attachment theory.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of cool to kind of dive in there. And
user friendly, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the title of it.
I think that was user friendly.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Nice job.
Hey,
that. Yeah.
I tell you. I try.
A steel trap up there.
Wow. Sometimes it's closed, but once you get it open.
Nice. I've also, the white blank page episode, I've referenced that concept a few times since then to others about ways to deal with that particular situation of a stressful week or,
Yeah.
So that's been cool to kind of have that as in the tool belt to be able to say, hey,
Yep.
try this, or even myself, right? To be able to say, I should be doing that.
And that one yeah, I was going to say that one reminds me of another one, but we haven't released that one yet. So that's
Which one? Don't say it. Just kidding. No, you can say it.
It was neuroplasticity. We haven't
neural pathways.
Neural pathways. We haven't released that one yet, but yeah, those are similar from my perspective.
Yeah,
as far as how we think is very important.
Yeah,
which we need to do the words one we talked about.
Yeah.
Last evening. So
Mrs. P.
Yep.
She brought up the power. You guys ever talked about the power of words?
Yeah,
that would be a cool one.
Yeah.
I've also, we have a list of topics, and one of the ones that keeps wanting me, I keep wanting to do it, but I don't necessarily. Forgive my text message tone. It's
okay.
I'm muting it at this point. One of the ones that I've been wanting to do for a while, but we just haven't pulled the trigger. But is biases, is this idea that how our brain, it kind of ties into neuroplasticity and these other things where your brain kind of has these pathways that it follows naturally, and you take them for granted. But and it creates biases, right?
Yep.
So I think it'll be a fun one. But before we move on, because I do want to talk about what's next.
Okay.
But before we do that, is there any other favorites you want to discuss?
No, nothing else really comes to mind. It's just been really a good journey, to really have the opportunity to look back. And there's a number of conversations that have been had that, wouldn't have happened otherwise. And, and when I say that, I don't mean to sound arrogant. I'm saying me with other people, and, and just even family members and, having people, say, hey, I go to sleep listening to your podcast. And it's like, okay, well, if that's what it's helpful for in that way, go for it.
A white noise machine. Yeah, that's all right. We'll take it. As long as our listen number goes up. We don't care how you listen.
That's right. That's right. No, but seriously, just, having those interactions and, being able to hopefully, as we interact with the people around, with the people who share with us, they are able to get that sense that we just enjoy what we're doing here. And, it's hopefully that's evident. And by all means, if, there's been a conversation.
You enjoy this?
I do. I do. I do.
Just tell that to your face. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I can try. I didn't realize
I don't know where that came from.
I didn't realize my face was.
Mark has a very jovial face. Don't listen to me.
I appreciated the humor though, because that's a good line. Where'd you hear that?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It is a good one.
Sounded like an '80s movie,
It does sound.
With that Amy, what's her name? Amy. But either way, go ahead.
Oh man, I don't know what rabbit hole we just fell down.
No, we didn't.
Amy something.
Yeah, I can't think of her last name, but that's okay.
Amy, I can't think of her last name.
You'd recognize her. Yeah.
Polar. See,
no.
Come back out.
Come on up. Come on up, Justin. We're here. We're here.
Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about what's next, Mark.
Ooh, what's next?
I have some thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I didn't give you time to think about that.
No, and I understand. I'm not always too concerned about what's next. For me, I think from my perspective, I could improve on just our ability to have a list a little bit ahead, a little bit more so ahead to where, we're planning, but at the same time, that's counter to the discussion in some ways from my perspective. I'm sure there's, different views out there. It's like, oh, wow, these guys, research and you might be very disappointed how much we tend to research some of the topics we discuss.
Let's put a disclaimer in that.
Yeah.
We pick topics that we're passionate about because we have at some point, we have, it's not, we're,
it's the word research, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
We have experience.
Yeah.
And I think
certainly have researched some of these extensively at some point in our life. I'm just saying, I don't think
Justin does a lot of researching.
Yeah. All right.
But that being said, I think, what, as I'm thinking about, I would like to be able to, maybe be a little more proactive in the research that we do. And yet still maintain the ability to recognize our experience tends to, define our views so extensively. I think you did a good job of making that comparison in gun control. When, inner city, grow up, rural grow up, that what that looks like and how it, affects so many topics, not just gun control, but so many of our topics are based on, where we've come from and the experiences we've had, within our family systems and within the greater community around us. I think, that's basically the premise behind how I see it.
Yeah.
It's so often those backgrounds that create that polarity just because we grew up so differently. And so, that's.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's from where we grew up from, and sometimes it's where we grew into. But either way, we tend to, because sometimes we can morph into this person who's polarized in a particular viewpoint. Because, like for instance, gun control. My uncle was shot. Whatever, in an armed robbery type situation. Well, now I'm completely. Maybe I swung to the other side. And naturally.
Yeah.
So I do think, whatever the reason, we come to every discussion with a particular viewpoint that often is strong, sometimes not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like gun control. I was like, I don't have a strong opinion either way, but I have strong thoughts in certain, aspects, but I don't know.
No.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. A little more. I hear what you're saying.
That would be for me personally a little more
research,
preparational goal type stuff. But I don't want it to be, counter to the ability to have the conversation either. So more of a, well, this is what I just recently learned type thing could be a part of that. But so, that's kind of my goals. I'm pretty present minded. I try to be as far as, not necessarily spending a lot of time looking back, thankful, grateful for, the blessings along the way. And I just, I guess maybe in some ways I don't spend a lot of time thinking too much about the future.
Yeah.
So but goals.
It's a cop out, but okay.
Well, it's an honest answer to a question. I mean,
no, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Well, if you think of other things along the way, you let me know. But.
Yep. So goals for you, Justin? Tell me. What would you like to see?
Well, it wasn't. Goals is way too strong of a word. Just like what's next, ideas, thoughts. I definitely want, obviously we want to get more guests on because those are some of our highlights. And
I agree.
Definitely want to do that. It's a little bit challenging to get that in the schedule and all that. So I think in regards to your comment about being a little more proactive and stuff like that, it ties into guests too. Cause, we got to get that planned.
Agreed. So
that's for me one of the things. I think it would be really cool. And we have gotten a few from this, and we just mentioned Chris mentioning the power of words, but getting topic ideas from the audience. Like, what do you guys want to hear us talk about and kind of break down a polarizing subject? Maybe something that, is just a taboo subject in your household or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'd love to hear us talk about it or whatever reason,
Right.
I think that would be awesome. We definitely get a lot of topic ideas. I would say a lot of them don't necessarily tie in the polarizing idea, but we also don't necessarily only do polarizing subjects. Sometimes we just talk about passion subjects. So, but it would be great to get some more polarizing subjects from. So it's not just all what we think is polarizing, but also, does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
I'd love to hear from you guys. Topics you'd like us to cover, or even guests, that you'd hear, not, if it's within our power to.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody you want to, any professionals you want to have us interview, feel free to contact them and just
make the connection for us. Yes. We'll be happy.
They may not have heard of us, but we'll definitely be thankful if we've heard of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thankful for the opportunity.
That's right.
Like I say.
Yes, indeed.
I hear you. No concerns. Yeah, but I forgot when we were talking about
We were talking
looking
about
back.
looking for. Oh,
Yeah, when we were talking about looking back or whatever. Or, well, it kind of ties into both. It
Okay.
ties into looking forward and looking back, but it ties into what you were saying about why we do this and what we're looking for. And you also said there's been a lot of conversations that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And then followed up with saying, not being arrogant, I mean conversations outside of this podcast. But I would just like to say I'm thankful for the conversations that have happened in this room with you because of doing this. Like, I think for me, a big part of this podcast, when kicking it off and even to now, is about legacy.
oh wow.
It's about a desire to have, a body of work that represents my life. And that's a really lofty, goal, but it's true. That's a big part of why I want to do this. Is I want my kids to have something, from me when I'm gone that represents the things I've learned, and that does tie a lot into it,
Wow.
And if it benefits others and certainly benefits me as we discuss or whatever, those are certainly bonuses. But that's a big part of it for me is having this stuff inside my head banging around that I want out, and I want it in a way that can be referenced, by my kids. And that does, you kind of backed out of it saying, not to be arrogant, but I'm kind of saying I am proud of what we're doing here, and I am proud of what we're able to share and talk about in these conversations. And it feels good to have this body of work. 52 episodes is a significant thing. And, it's not all perfect. There's some fluff in there, whatever, but it represents, something to be proud of for me.
No, I hear you.
And I hope you feel that way too.
Yeah, no doubt. And I appreciate you sharing from that light. And it's interesting. I don't typically think about this having the impact that those personal conversations do to me, because I respect what you're sharing on legacy and having that. And I think part of it comes down to, maybe life cycle stages for us, because a lot of what I'll do with John and Lizzie is, that interaction on an adult level where the discussion of the topic comes up, that kind of thing. And I enjoy that also, not necessarily. Yeah. It's just kind of interesting to think about it from those two ends as you see it, this going forward. And I see it as this going out and then the conversation coming back.
Yeah. And sometimes going out from conversations.
Yes.
Between, you and your family.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
And same with me. I mean, certainly a lot of this comes from conversations with Megan and, and as Mia gets older too, she certainly is, I mean, not just Mia, there's great viewpoints from all of them, but yeah.
And I appreciate
that is interesting.
I appreciate, I forget when it was a while back. I appreciate you shared that you and Joseph had the same sense of humor. When it came to, I think there was a podcast you listened to, and he was at the age where he was starting to kind of catch on to some of the humor, and so that's kind of cool too, being able to have that. Yeah.
And none of my kids listen to the podcast, so it's not. It's just about the opportunity. Maybe someday when I'm dead, they're like, what did dear old dad have to say? And hopefully it'll be knocking around in the interwebs in some dusty corner.
There you go.
You'll be able to.
Yeah. No, that's neat.
But I think just being able to get it out of, have the conversations, have them to be out there.
Yeah.
Is again something for me to be proud of, and
nice.
I am proud of it. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're not, Mark.
Oh, no. It is. And I think, I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of and really what you do from the technology end is probably more of what I respect, just because the things that we tend to do personally aren't that big a deal. But when we interact with someone who has talents that are different than ours, we tend to respect those talents, and our personal ones may not be such a big deal, but it's not that ours aren't valuable to that other person the same way we see their value. So, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get the show onto the internet, but you are what makes people listen. So
No, definitely not. But it's a good time.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Team effort.
yes.
Any other questions or
I
thoughts?
feel like we need a high five.
Okay, we can do air 5-5. There you go.
We did it.
Yeah.
Just trust us.
That's right. That's right. All this technology keeps you from hearing it now. In the old studio, this tech setup,
You can hear every echo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've officially cut out the birds and everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
You should. That'll be a trivia. Could you hear the birds in this episode? I'm pretty sure I could hear it at one point through here. So today.
Oh.
So if you're a listener, you can tell us.
Yeah. If you
Is
heard
Justin
the birds.
correct? You could hear the birds. It was Mark correct. You could not hear the birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I did not.
Great. Anything else? Any other episodes, Elon?
No, I mean, yeah, there again, being thankful for, those guests who have come, because I recognize that it's not an easy thing to kind of carve time out of your day. Listeners can kind of choose.
Yeah.
And not that our guests couldn't choose. They weren't here by force, but, to that degree, we just, because I realized there's a certain amount of anxiety, maybe even nervousness that goes along with doing something new and that kind of thing. So just wanted you to know that, for all those who have helped out and have been part of it, we appreciate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're part of what made this year a success. And
Sure.
so we're thankful for you and your voice.
Yep.
Yeah, and those conversations. So
No doubt.
and we'll be again looking to have more of those this year. So
Yeah.
So congratulations, Mark.
Congratulations,
on 52 episodes.
Yes.
1 year of episodes.
You as well.
And actually a year and 1 week because we missed a week.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was an accident.
It was
happened.
an accident.
Yeah.
Don't remind me, Mark. Stop it.
Oh, let it go. So without further ado, this is how we see it.
It's how I see it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for listening to our podcast. If you like How I See It, please do all the things that podcasts tell you to do. Subscribe, rate, review, follow us, and or talk nicely about us on social media. If you want to reach out, the email is us@howiseeit.click. Yep, I said .click, as in .click. Please tell your friends about this show, and we'll see you on the next one.